Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast. All the stuff we did not get to during the course of the show today, including a little bit of controversy that doesn't involve a college campus for once. That's surprising. Yeah, we'll stay off of that today because we all know it's lunacy. But anyway, Barbra Streisand in some hot water on Instagram because she shared a post by Melissa McCarthy. And I guess they had worked together. They had done like this music thing together, so they know each other. And she made this comment that spoke to conversation about weight shaming. And so apparently McCarthy commented on it when she saw the picture of, or Streisand commented when she saw McCarthy's photo with somebody that they knew. Give him my regards. And she said, did you take Ozempic? That's it. Like, not a big deal.
That's all she said?
That's it. That is where this all starts, okay? And so then Streisand deleted her comment after a bunch of the comments started showing up. And she said, OMG, I went on Instagram to see the photos we'd posted of the beautiful flowers I'd received for my birthday. Below them was my friend Melissa McCarthy, and I just made this comment. I forgot that it was for public consumption. Because she was just talking to her like she was a friend, you know? And so people went nuts on this. They're like, you're shaming her, you know, to debate this on social media, the weight loss drug. And I'm like, it's an honest question between friends. Like, hey, are you doing Ozempic? I've asked people that. I don't think it's shaming at all. Good for you. If you can do that and it's working for you, great. I have no problem
But
with
we've
that.
talked about this before. Why is using Ozempic considered bad?
Because people who take medications for weight loss, including Oprah Winfrey, and they've spoken out about it publicly, feel that they've been shamed for doing it like it's the easy way out. Which, I mean, let's be honest, it is the easy way out. It's the easy way out I would like to take, but I don't like needles, you know? It's much easier than diet and exercise, but who cares? Like, if you can do it, I don't care.
I think it's, what do they call it? Gaslighting.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to post photos of yourself and people can tell you've drastically lost weight, the problem with social media is that you don't get the full picture.
Sure.
So if you were friends with Melissa, you'd be like, oh, I know why she lost all that weight because she's taking Ozempic.
Right.
Or she really worked out and she's really watching what she eats. But because we don't know the full story, there are some people that are battling their weight and they see that Melissa McCarthy did it. And so they're like, oh, I'm going to have to just try better. When they don't really know that she might have taken the easy way out.
Right.
I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're going to post photos of yourself and not tell the whole story,
Right.
Don't post the photos.
Like, I have a friend who has lost a lot of weight, okay? Before, and it's because of the shot, okay? So before this, she went to, I think she was one of these people that keeps track of all their boot camps, and she was on over 1,000 boot camps and stuff every day, religious about it, okay? But it only worked so much for her. And so then she takes the shot. She drops a ton of weight, and she looks amazing. And so my wife had asked her, what are you doing? Like, what happened? Oh, she's like, oh, just the boot camps, and I'm eating a little differently.
So she was saying.
She denied it. But we know that she was taking the shot because her husband told us, you know? And so that's where it's interesting. Like, because she felt maybe the shame of it or the stigma of it, or maybe people are going to think I'm, you know, taking the easy way out, you know? And my wife literally was just like, what are you doing? Because I'd like to do it, you know? And if she had said the shot, then my wife would have been like, oh, okay, well, that's good.
Yeah.
But my wife isn't about to go get the shot because she's just not going to because she hates needles.
But it is interesting that she wasn't honest about
Right.
it, because let's say that instead of your wife, it was another woman that maybe she's been up and her weight just fluctuates up and down, and we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Maybe she really battles with being a size whatever.
Right.
And so she talks to this lady that's not being honest about using Ozempic. And now this girl that's battling her weight feels guilt, feels shame.
That I can't do it. I'm not working hard enough.
Exactly. So now she's killing herself trying to do better. I think it's just not right. That's gaslighting. Like, be honest. If you're going to do it, then be honest about it.
I get that there is a little bit of a stigma, and especially like in workout circles, because the whole idea of working out is pushing yourself harder. This is from a guy that bought an e-bike. My buddy likes to push himself harder and break his own records and things like that. I don't like to break a sweat. And so I bought an e-bike, you know?
that.
And I have no shame in that. I have zero shame in that. Like, I don't care. If you don't think I'm working hard enough, I don't care. I'm enjoying riding, and I'm out riding. Same thing with the Ozempic. Like, okay, maybe the working out, like for this girl I know, the working out didn't work for her. Again, she's religious about it.
Some people it just doesn't.
Exactly.
And that's just, again, you're going to go out there and say that God, makes us all different. And some
Right.
people's bodies just don't respond super well to activity, to eating well. You can do all these things and it doesn't work. I do think it's tough, though, if you put, let's say, like two people like side by side and they had both gone from, 220 to 170, both
Right.
looking really healthy. And one person like just spent a year like just eating right and working out, and their body
Right.
responded well to this. This person over here took the pill, took all this stuff, got here, and then you have all these people out here who are like, "Oh my goodness, you look so good,"
Yeah.
and you can say, "Oh, good job." But like I could see this person who worked for a year and like dedicated hours of their day
Right.
to this, seeing this person get the
Same accolade.
accolade and feel like, man, I don't feel like
It's the
they
problem
earned
with
it.
socialism. It's the problem with socialism.
Sure.
One person works hard, the other person doesn't, and you get treated equally. Like in that scenario, if I knew each of them had done different paths, I would gush about the person that worked really hard because they're doing something I can't do. I can go get a shot and I could lose weight easy like that.
I'd love
I
to.
can't go do. Oh, I can. I'm not at that place where I'm willing to go put
Yeah.
those kind of hours in. And so to me, that earns my respect. Do I look down on the other person? No. Hey, man, knock yourself out.
If
Don't
you got to
care.
where you got to and
Hey,
you feel good,
Good.
as long as you feel
I'm
good.
not going to celebrate you like you've triumphed over something. Like, oh, you're amazing. You did it. It's like, no, you got a prescription. But I'm going to be happy for you, and I'm not going to belittle you. It's none of my business ultimately. But the other person, I'm going to celebrate their achievement because that's not easy, man. Holy cow. But I just thought it was interesting that the internet went nuts about it. The internet...
Taking up crosses they don't need to.
This is the thing about the internet is it's given everybody a voice, but then we give too much credibility or credence to what morons are posting in comments. Although those are Betty Rock's favorite parts. She'll see a funny post or a whatever post, and she's like, "Did you read the comments?" Like
Oh my gosh.
the comments. I never read the comments.
I love comments.
And
I will
Betty
trip,
dives
I will
in 'em.
trip on my own
They're so
feet,
funny.
hurrying to get to the comments.
I know.
The comments are sometimes better than the actual video.
And you're right,
And I
like-
found one today that was all about this girl that she had tattoos just covering her, like her whole.
Is this the TJ Maxx girl that got turned down for the
her
job?
whole left
Her
arm
face,
is
she's got
completely tattooed. She's got tattoos all over her face.
She's got demons on her.
A devil spider on her
Yeah.
neck, and she's got the goat with the star
Yeah.
thing on her
Yeah,
chest.
Satanism
and
stuff.
TJ Maxx turned her down, but they said it was because they found someone that was more qualified.
Right.
She thinks it's because of her tattoos.
Well, of course it's
Anyways-
because of your tattoos, knucklehead.
Anyways, she's going on TikTok posting a video, and she's like, if you are someone who is tatted like me, I want to know, how did you get a job? How did you get people to look past your tattoos to see who you are as a person? Anyways,
You made choices.
I beelined it. I did not walk. I did not run. I flew to the comment section, and that was where it was at. Some people were like, have you tried Hobby Lobby? Maybe they comments are where life is, okay?
I think my favorite video, it's on Instagram, where you see this video of this woman, and she's got a big forehead, and
Yeah.
the hairline is really
Way
far
back,
It's
yeah.
huge. It's a big forehead, and so the video shows somebody's like kind of like a screen video of them clicking on the comments, and it says me going to the comments. Size still sees the forehead because the comment section pulls up and it covers part of the video, but you can still see part of her forehead over it. So because people are going to
Yeah.
that comment section
Yeah.
to see what people are saying about the forehead, but you can still see the forehead.
Yeah, the
I'm telling
comments
you.
are without a doubt.
Glorious.
Like you got me to read the comments of James Chapesky, who I love.
Glorious.
The comments are better.
How much fog do you want? Yes.
Yes,
How much smoke?
exactly. Like that's one of my favorite comments ever. So yeah, these are not so great comments of this one. Like Kamala Harris was on Drew Barrymore.
Oh, okay. I thought
No,
you were
it's
gonna
another
say Kamala
story.
commented on.
No.
on
She-
this.
She was on with
Whoa.
Drew Barrymore, and they were talking
saw
about
it.
being a step parent. And she's like, well, we kind of don't use the term step. She says, I just think I love Disney, but Disney kind of messed that up for a lot of people over the years, the evil step parent, referring to the evil stepmother in Disney films. And Harris said her children call her Mamala. So I'm like, that's a creative
funny.
use of that. So Drew Barrymore goes on with the interview, and she leans in and she says, I really think we all need a tremendous hug in the world right now in our country. We need a Mamala of the country.
Aw.
So basically, she is aligning with Kamala. She's paying her a compliment. She's saying you're like a mom type figure that people like, and we need that unity and that peace and stuff like that. So that's it. That's where it should stop. And she says, yeah, we need a great protector. Like, that's it. Like, anybody with a shred of common sense can see that, but not commenters. This is why you just got to turn off the comments, I think. Mamala is insane. No, it's not up to a black woman to rock us in her bosom and heal our wounds. I usually advocate for Drew's quirky brand, but this is too far. We are women and not just automatic maternal figures forever and always. You've missed the whole point of that.
I know.
And this is where, again, we say, especially with the maternal one, because we've tried to strip identity out of everything, and we've tried to make everything equal, and so you go, we're not just maternal. You've vilified maternal. Maternal is a good thing. Somebody having an inkling, a care, compassion, kindness, somebody being that, what women typically are, is great, and we do need that. That's why God designed us. But then you take God out of it, and God didn't design this. I'm designing my own self. I've even created my own identity.
So instead of talking about the college rants, we're going to talk
got
about
this one, yeah.
Still something to rant about.
Of course.
These are people who are just choosing to be hurt.
Exactly, but then like that's what drives me nuts is like the news picks up on it, and the news uses the comments from Twitter from some knucklehead, and they're like, and Twitter's blowing up. No, it's one idiot.
Yeah.
But they treat it like it is a widespread viewpoint, and it's not.
If I went back to college and I tried to write a research paper and I tried to use so-and-so's tweet for a source.
Right, you couldn't.
My professor would be like, that's so silly. You can't do that. But yeah, you can throw up,
in the news,
Joe's
it doesn't matter.
comment about the, riots, and people will be like, oh, yeah.
Because what
Don't
the
bring
news,
up the riot.
Yeah, because what the news looks for is the extreme. And so the most extreme comment is what leads. Well, yeah, they were doing the UCLA thing on GMA today, and the person there that was interviewing people didn't pick somebody that was pro-Israeli or somebody that had a different viewpoint. They just picked the narrative person that agreed with the protesters. And
what did they say? Because I saw I didn't.
Here we go.
We
they were like,
about it.
no, they have the right to protest, and they're protesting the genocide. And they just went down the line of all the fictitious copy points and miss all the facts. And so they basically just lockstepped with what the left side media is putting out, and so that's what they put out. Good Morning America is as liberal as it gets, in their approach to the news, and they just furthered that. Yeah, don't talk about all the people that are being infringed upon. Don't talk about that they canceled graduation for the entire school because of these idiots. So you work 4 years, and you got about 300 people or whatever that ruin your graduation because the university can't get it together, step up, and say, no, we have rules. You're outside of these rules. You're done here. But they won't do it because they're cowards. And you know what? Lose your school. I hope you lose your school. Don't care. Give it to Hamas at this point. And that's what you're doing. And that's the leak that happens here is when you give radicals an inch, they take a mile, and then you have to go to extremes to get it back. And that's when things get violent. No one wants violence. But it was interesting seeing other college, because my buddy and I, we were having dinner last night, and we were talking about this. And he goes, dude, if I was still in college, oh my gosh, I would have made it as difficult on these people as possible. He goes, I would have launched fireworks into them. And somebody did that, and then it started ratcheting it up.
Yeah, that seems like that doesn't seem like a crazy good idea. I get the sentiment.
Yeah.
But I will say that it's like I liked a video that I saw on TikTok yesterday about the guy who goes and sits and
Charlie
has
Kirk.
debates with people, and he had a good comment, because I do think that he's there to have conversations.
Sure.
And I think that that's a good thing. I think that he knows that he's going to make people mad, and he does it anyway. And again, I still don't think that's a problem, but I like what he said about how we've lost our ability to have conversations with the other side of an argument,
for sure,
and it not lead to either violence or just villainizing the other group.
Yeah.
I think that for us, because I'm fine if you have a different opinion from me, but if you are going to scream it at me and you are going to demand that there's some governmental, rule set in place to further your agenda that hurts my, like faith or my point of view, then yeah, no, like it's just we can't just disagree anymore.
I like creativity inside of these things, and so when I saw a post that was like, there's a hunger strike going on, with the liberal hunger strike, and then the young Republicans set up a barbecue next to them. Like, to me, that's funny. Like, that is, to me, you didn't hurt anybody. It's two very different ideologies. And you're like, okay, fine, you're going to do this. I'm going to make fun of you, and I'm going to have a free barbecue. That, to me, I found that extremely funny, and I think that's the way you should handle it. Humor, satire, and so, in some ways it kind of belittles your point, when you realize that some people sneaking over to get some ribs. Let's see how committed you are to your hunger strike. Lady Rock, let's go on to your story.
John Bon Jovi.
Yes! Okay.
So there's a special that just came out. I believe it's on Hulu.
It is on Hulu. I know that for a fact.
But it's telling the full story about John Bon Jovi and his band.
Because they're celebrating 40 years of this, man. And, I watched episode 1 because I'm a huge 80s metal fan. And so I watched...
Metal?
Yeah, it was pop
Would you
metal.
Consider them?
This is hair metal. They were hair metal.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I watched this, and I love behind the scenes music stuff. I know, I know all the members of the band. So I was geeking out over it.
Of course, yeah.
For sure.
But when I saw Wally the very next day and he had watched that first episode, there was one thing that stood out to him, and it was his ego.
Yeah.
John Bon Jovi's ego. So it turns out you're not alone in this thinking. So I found this article where a lot of people are thinking that he comes across as rather cocky in this new documentary. He said, when it comes to staying faithful to his wife, he said, quote, "I got away with murder. I'm a rock and roll star. I'm not a saint. I'm John Bon Jovi."
Oh, yeah. Don't say that.
In a response to someone asking about his marriage?
Yeah.
Because he
was not faithful.
He was not faithful to his wife.
Okay, I didn't know
and
that. And that's how he put it?
And he talked about it.
Right.
And
I haven't got to that episode yet.
And his reasoning for why he was not faithful was because he's John Bon Jovi. And he's a rock and roll
Well, yeah, because he had
star.
every trapping that was thrown at him, and he succumbed to them because he was a young guy and he didn't have the moral compass to not. He should not have gotten married, honestly.
No.
But that my wife and I were talking about this because I had told her that you had shared that part of the story with me the other day, and I was like, it's fascinating to me that if you look at it just from a purely worldly viewpoint. So this guy starts a band, and guys get in bands so that they can get chicks, So
is that why you were there for Heaven's
absolutely,
Fire?
Yes. And it turns out starting a Christian band, it doesn't work the same.
Homeschool.
Yeah.
Accolades aren't the same.
Not the same. And so, but the crazy thing is there's something inside of even him that still wanted to be known, loved, cared for, committed. Mm-hmm. All of those things, even though he had all the other stuff that was going to be coming at him and came at him, he still wanted this, yet he couldn't set aside the other stuff. It's just fascinating to me that but the point is we are wired for marriage. We're wired for connection. We're wired for people like that. And it was interesting because I said he should have never gotten married, but then it would be going against the way that we're wired, Well,
I agree with you to some degree. I don't know if we're wired per se for marriage.
Well, you want to be married, right?
Well, yes, but not everybody wants to.
But I'm speaking generally.
I would say we're wired to be known. We want to be known, and we want to have those connections with
companionship.
Yeah, we're not meant to be alone. We are made for companionship, for sure.
It's interesting that he had the wife and she stayed with him, that more probably for companionship because he was getting the other on the side. And so maybe
he
that
went on
person meant more to him.
He went on to say more about that. He did make it clear that he would never let any extracurricular activities jeopardize his relationship with his wife.
No.
He said, quote, "There is no doubt in my mind that this world revolves because of her, because of what she did to keep the kids right, what she does to keep me right, what we do together to keep it right. No doubt about it."
It's funny. I've never even heard about his kids. I have no idea how many kids he has.
He's got 4 kids. I
One
believe.
Well, one of them's getting married sometime
to
here soon. Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger
Brown.
Things.
Oh, that's right.
Which
yeah.
I feel like to be Bon Jovi's son, he's probably not going to be whatever his real name is. He'll just be Bon Jovi's son to a lot of us. But so did he got married, they had kids. Did they, and then he cheated, did they get divorced?
No.
Or have they?
They're
still together.
He and his wife are still together to this
30
day.
something years. They were high
So
school sweethearts.
It's a story of, and I do believe that, people can mess up and like recover and heal and move on from those things. But it does sound like he still verbally has the ego attached to even stuff from the past.
I don't know any woman. I think to me, and this is my opinion as a woman, I think he should feel some shame for what he did to her.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like he doesn't have any guilt or shame for what he did because he was, quote, John Bon Jovi.
Right.
And he was a rock star, is what he calls himself.
Right. Yeah. And he was.
But if I were one of his kids or if I were his wife, I'd say, you don't love us.
Right.
You love yourself more than you love us, but you're giving credit to your wife. That doesn't make it right, though.
Yeah, they don't quite
You
match
shouldn't have
up.
done it to begin with.
He should have owned, like, he's kind of owning it, but not. And it's kind of like the wink, like, I was a bad boy, like he literally knowing as an older guy now, he's 60 something now, I think he's 62. Like he should have said, I did a lot of bad things to hurt my wife, that I regret and should never have done. That was the world I was in. That was the place I was in. And I regret it. But the place I'm at now, she's amazing, and I would never hurt her again. And we've talked to it. It's been our thing. We figured it out. And maybe he does go on to that in more detail.
Yeah, maybe. And who knows if they had an agreement.
Well,
right. Other people do.
Yeah.
This
She
is
might have had her own situation.
A documentary, too. Could also have, there could be some form of a directorial direction in how they paint things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They're trying to tell the true story.
Sure.
Let me ask you this,
Yeah,
though,
go
Wally.
ahead. Yeah.
Knowing all of this about him,
okay.
Yeah.
does this change your perspective of him?
Oh, no.
Because
No,
he can hit this song again, and it's not going to.
yeah,
that's
it's
all
like-
it is. That's Bon Jovi.
And Wally's up there in the front row. And they're like, oh, the chick with the long hair.
Yeah.
And then they see him.
Well, what's funny is that
Is that a goatee?
for me, Bon Jovi, like the reason I didn't know he had any kids is like I grew out of Bon Jovi, obviously. Like he was, after their New Jersey album, which had Bad Medicine and a couple of other songs that people know, they went on and they had like a bunch more albums after that, and they were all horrible. Like there was not another album I bought after New Jersey because they were, in my opinion, were so bad.
They never recaptured the flame.
No. And so like I was just done, and so I didn't follow him. But like that moment in time, like I loved the music. Marty and I were watching the video clips of it last night, and we were both like, I can't believe we like this. But because it was cheesy by today's standards, but at the time it was brand new. All the effects and the weird things and stuff.
I think they're both still catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he definitely, man, like his ego is so prevalent in that. And I would have loved to have seen some humility in him after of all the years of this to be like, yeah, I had an ego, because you have to do that job. I don't begrudge him that. But like looking back now, you'd think he would know to tone that down a little bit now in his older age, but it doesn't seem like it. So I'm up to episode 2 where Richie Sambora comes in because he's not on the reunion tour, and he's like, are we being honest here? I'm like, yes.
Did he leave the band or
Spill
something?
the tea. Yeah, he's not with them on this tour. And he and John vocally together were magic. Like they're great together. Like Richie's great, but Richie on his own never had a good song.
Who was this?
Richie Sambora, the guitar player.
Okay.
So he never had a good song on his own. And I don't think John Bon Jovi actually had great stuff after, the demise of their band.
Well, he had that one hit that was in like the
Young Guns. Shut down
No, it was in the 2000s.
In a place of glory. Smile.
John Bon Jovi's 2000 song. It's My Life.
It's my life.
And
It's now or never.
I ain't gonna live forever.
I did like that song.
I'll tell you, when you watch this thing though, he is struggling vocally. Like he
Yeah.
has to have this. He has lasers pointed at his throat that he does to
gosh.
do the blood flow, and he is struggling.
Bless his heart.
Because he never had this stellar voice, but when you sing every night for so many years,
Then it
it roaches
Oh,
your
yeah,
voice.
yeah.
Not everybody can handle that.
Because he had come out with another song like a couple years ago, and
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called, but I remember listening to it.
It's like when Journey today comes out with new songs, and you're just like, guys, stop.
just be done.
Just play "Don't Stop Believin'," okay, and then we're gonna be fine. Play "Separate Ways,
Yeah,
Worlds
but you
Apart."
know how that would be, like as a radio DJ,
Right.
if they were like, you were known for
Right.
Snap Judgment, and everybody wanted you to just
Yeah.
do Snap Judgment, you wouldn't want to. You'd be
Yeah.
like, no, I gotta do more. I'm somebody.
I know that is true, but
more
then
than
when you
just a
listen back
pretty
to
face.
it and you got to hear it with your own ears,
Oh man.
yeah, so okay.
If you had to choose between John Bon Jovi or Journey, who would it be?
Oh, Journey has a much bigger catalog of songs, and Steve Perry, the guy just can sing, you know. So yeah, I would go
Rat
with
or
that.
Van Halen?
Rat or Van Halen?
No, it's Van
Now
Halen.
it's funny because it's Van Halen hands down, but Rat is the only other. There's when my phone is scrolling through all of the songs like on
Taylor
my
Swift
playlist.
and Van Halen.
One
Taylor
Direction.
Swift.
Yeah,
and
she shows up and I
Rat.
hate it. I gotta
Sure.
I gotta get her out
yeah,
of there.
You said that for years,
I
and
know.
you haven't
I'm just
done
lazy.
it.
I'm lazy.
It's not laziness.
I'm
It's
lazy.
me.
Death by 1,000 cuts. Oh my gosh, it cuts so deep.
I'm the problem.
Yeah. But the three bands that I very rarely skip is Van Halen, Rat. For some reason, I never skip a Rat song, and Motley Crue. Like those are the three. And
Motley Crue or Van Halen?
Van Halen
Halen.
still. But if you listen, my favorite thing to do is listen to Motley Crue now, where Vince Neil has totally lost it and he can't sing anymore, and people put up words underneath what they think he's saying because he's unintelligible.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's so bad. That I love watching those
Journey
videos.
or Van Halen?
Oh, yes, I'm still gonna go Van Halen.
So all this to say, in your era of
Yeah.
metal, was Van Halen your
Oh yeah,
favorite band
they were the
maybe
first
of all time?
They were the first album I bought.
Jump.
I love them.
That's
My
cool.
sister's boyfriend got me turned on to them and U2 at the same time, and so very different. But
Very different.
yeah, Van Halen was like the band, and then so much so that I started listening to Eddie Van Halen's son, Wolfgang. He has a band called Mammoth, WVH, and I started listening to him. That kid, he played every instrument, sang,
Wow.
and he's good. Like he's real. And I've seen him play Eddie's solos and stuff too. Like the kid's good. How could he not be? You know,
Right. It's hard though to get out of the shadow of your parents.
but he writes completely differently than his dad wrote, which is interesting. It's not just a ripoff, and it's
He's his own thing.
Yeah, it's a little simpler.
how does it compare to Taylor Swift's new album? You would know.
Oh, it does not compare to
Oh, it
Taylor.
doesn't?
Nothing
All
compares to
32
Taylor Swift's
songs?
new album. Nothing at all. Are you kidding me? Like when you're a tortured poet, you own emotion.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it all along.
I have not
He's
listened-
like crying in his little
I've not
car
listened to a
on the way
single.
home.
Her album "Lover" for some reason is on my phone. Okay, I know why it is. I did it because we were doing a bit one
Yes.
time, and I needed to pull some music.
Oh,
guy's all about the bits.
But he's too lazy to get it off.
I know. Well, I
But
don't.
he wasn't lazy enough to
Because what if?
download
What
it.
if we go back? What if we need to go back to it?
I know. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Let's just see how much Taylor Swift I have on here. Now this is my Amazon. So artists.
If you go to your
Taylor.
shuffle, I'd love to know how quickly we get to it.
Oh, I
I'd
don't
love
know.
to know how soon something pops up.
Let's see. Let's see if Taylor comes up. Vince Neil, STUV. I can't even do.
It's like teardrop.
Taylor Swift. Okay. So I'm in my library. The ad comes up for tortured poets, but that's not me.
Sure.
Downloaded.
Because they're targeting the audience
Yeah,
that
they know
would
what they're
get
doing.
it.
Okay. So her album Lover
Is that the?
was the album. That's the only one that I have.
It's the only one, Gavin. It's the only one.
That's the
okay?
only one.
Can you prove it by turning your screen?
Yeah,
and,
that's the only Taylor Swift that I have on this phone. Like it.
Oh,
I remember I
okay.
did
well,
download
now
the
it's
album.
Okay.
I remember I downloaded the album.
It was only one album. Yeah,
I
for
did.
sure.
Okay, but if you
For
look
sure,
at
yeah.
but if you look at who she's surrounded by on her page, okay,
Yeah, okay.
on my page here,
What's a tea name that she's?
She's surrounded by Toto,
Okay.
Third Eye Blind,
All right.
I love
Tim
them.
Timmons, Christian artist,
Love that.
and Styx.
Nice.
So, like, she's the outlier in that group for me, okay?
And we all need that outlier.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
It's your era.
Yeah.
You were in your Taylor Swift
Be in
era.
your feels. Yeah, you're in your T-Sway era. It's okay.
That's my new favorite word, by
Love
the
it.
way. If that's
You're
a
in this
word.
era.
This is
You're
an
in your
era.
grandpa era.
If you look, oh, nice. If you look at my thing, like what surrounded my Van Halen, various artists, I don't know what that is. Vince Neil, Vinnie Vincent Invasion,
See, this is
and
where
Vixen.
he's trying to justify his actions. For
Oh no,
having
it's
that
all
one
like
Taylor
80s
Swift
metal.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Because he's like, no, but listen
guys,
to how
this is
manly
who I
am.
am. This is
'Cause
the real
look
me.
at how much she's surrounded by.
I even have
you don't even
Zebra
understand.
on my phone.
I even
bro.
have Zebra. Let's
Like,
try
no
and
one has
forget
Zebra
about
on their
Taylor
phone.
Swift on my phone.
You're the worst.
I just can't figure
No,
out
I
how
can
to
read. I can just read straight
how do I
through to
delete
you.
this.
You're not wrong. All right, let's do some birthdays.
All right, we've got one.
Yes, make it special.
Lee to her son Sam.
Let's
Happy
go,
birthday,
Sam!
Sam! Sam is turning 12 years old.
Yes!
Said he knows all the countries of the world, their location, flags, and capitals.
That was
Dadgummit.
Ooh,
I would like to
Sam.
fly next to Sam so I could be like, Sam, where are we going? Like, I don't know where I'm going to be on this map. Show me where we are going.
Right.
Sam, where?
Okay, so
Hi.
he does have a question.
Okay.
Or I guess his mom has a question.
Okay.
If you had to live in a third world country, which one would it be and why? I did look up third world countries
Yeah.
on Google. It
interesting.
has Afghanistan.
Yeah, they're trying to do tourism. I just read an article about this. It's the best.
Honduras,
Yeah,
Ethiopia,
yeah. There's a ton.
Liberia,
Yeah,
Chad,
like Zambia. I would pick Zambia.
Cambodia.
Because Africa is my favorite continent. Like I love Africa and the countries inside of Africa. I've been to so many and I love them. Zambia, I would pick them because it's got some beautiful places in it, but it also has English as a language.
Oh, that's
And so
helpful.
it would make living in Africa, where I do love, and the people you could serve there would be great, and you wouldn't have the language barrier.
It has Egypt on here as a third world country.
really?
So I would choose Egypt because I would be with my cat people.
My sister did not like Egypt when they visited. They went to the pyramids and everything like that. And she's like, I did. That was her. And they traveled a lot because they lived in Europe. That was her least favorite country that she went to.
But if I have to choose, that's where I would go
I get you.
because they're like they respect the cat.
Right.
The cat is
Cat is
the
life.
preferred pet,
Yeah.
and so that is where I would go.
All right.
Gavin?
Looking at it because I don't
He doesn't know.
know. Like,
Let's put him in the worst
you're
one.
because you're going through things and you're like, oh, that's close to bad. That's close
Yeah.
to
Oh, everything.
not great. That's
Yeah.
close to not great.
Go to
Maybe,
Afghanistan.
no.
Go to Haiti.
No, they
Gosh,
get
poor Haiti.
they get stuff. I would just join
Haiti's
you.
in
I'll just join you in Egypt because you're over there.
Yeah, I feel bad. Haiti is a disaster
Yeah, they
right
get,
now.
They get
and
punched.
like that's where Ilderson, one of my compassion kids, is. And like Haiti's just wrecked right now, and they've always had problems. And that is a tough life for these people. But it does. I mean, it's one of those things. This question though, be thankful. I know we have a lot of problems in this country when we get mad at things. Go out of the country sometime and see how other people live. It will jar you the first time you see it, and you will come home stupid thankful for your house that you might not think is all that great. You'll be like, this is a mansion, you know? And so I think that's a good reminder. Well, guys, thanks for the reminder, and thanks for
Say
the
it like
thing.
Taylor Swift.
I don't even know. I can't even, I
Yes,
can't
you
pronounce
do.
her.
Yes,
It's
you
me.
do.
Hi, it's the
Just
end
podcast
of the
it.
Aftercast.
Guys,
Oh.
you're listening because you like us.
Oh, nice.
OMG.
I just love you all.
It just really gets to my heart. I'm in my feels right now. You don't even understand.
Thank you for being a potty.
I'm tortured for having to end this.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.